Hi everybody, this is Mary, a contributor here on Patrick's Attic, and today I thought I would share with you my copy of Aesop's Illustrated Fables. Aesop's Fables are one of my favorite things. If you're not familiar with them, they are a collection of several very, very short stories, and at the end of each story there is a moral and a lesson to be learned. I think one of the most popular Aesop's Fables that you've probably already heard would be The Tortoise and the Hare. That's a very good example of one that pretty much everyone knows. This copy of Aesop's Fables was picked up at Barnes & Noble. It's a very nice edition. As you can see, there's a lot of gold foil stamping. It's a very heavy book, very nice, faux leather bound book with very nice illustration on the outside depicting lions and peacocks, chickens, a toad, a hare, a tortoise, the sun, a crow, some other type of little birdie, and the cat. On the side, we also have the lion again and the mouse. And on the back, we have a fox. Some of the same animals from the front. And to kind of illustrate what Aesop's Fables is all about, they have the moral that is at the very end of The Tortoise and the Hare, which is slow and steady wins the race. As you can see, the leaves are, it's kind of like got the gold leafing on the pages here. Just a very nice book. Feels very good in your hands. And see the end papers, that's what this area of the book is called, are decorated. They're kind of an Art Deco pattern with a pattern of cranes at the top. Very Art Deco style. Both the front and the back have that pattern. And at the top, you'll see we have a bookmarker included, a ribbon bookmarker, which is into binding. Nice little touch. The book is a total of 456 pages, and that includes a nice index in the back so that if you have a favorite Aesop's Fable, you can look it up by name. Very nice collection. I'm just going to flip through some pages and share some of the illustrations with you. now that we've taken a look at the book, I thought that I would read a few of the fables. I think I'm going to start with one on page 82. This one is called The Owl and the Grasshopper. And you can see here the illustration depicts kind of a nighttime sleepy looking owl and the little grasshoppers down here at the bottom. An owl who was sitting in a hollow tree dozing away a long summer's afternoon was very much disturbed by a rogue of a grasshopper who kept singing in the grass beneath. So far indeed from keeping quiet or moving away at the request of the owl, the grasshopper sang all the more, and called her an old blinker that only came out at nights when all honest people were gone to bed. The owl waited in silence for a short time, and then artfully addressed the grasshopper as follows. "Well, my dear, if one cannot be allowed to sleep, it is something to be kept awake by such a pleasant little pipe as yours, which makes most agreeable music, I must say. And now I think of it, my mistress Pallas gave me the other day a bottle of delicious nectar. If you will take the trouble to come up, you shall have a drop, and it will clear your voice nicely." The silly grasshopper, beside himself with flattery, came hopping up to the owl. When he came within reach, the owl caught him, killed him, and finished her nap in comfort. The moral of the story: flattery works better than threats. It's kind of a dark ending for that poor little grasshopper. Here we have another one, The Fox and the Grapes. A hungry fox one day chanced to come into a vineyard where he saw some fine ripe grapes hanging at a good height from the ground. He jumped at them and made many other vain attempts to reach them. Finally he walked off, grumbling to himself, "If those grapes had been good, I would be disappointed, but they are green and sour." It is easy to despise what you cannot get. The Young Man and His Cat. A young man became so fond of his cat that he made her his constant companion, and used her to declare that if she were a woman he would marry her. Venus, at length, seeing how sincere was his affection, gratified his wishes, and changed the cat into a young and beautiful woman. The young man was delighted, and lost no time in marrying her. They lived happily together until one day, when the bride heard a mouse in the room. Quickly springing up, she caught the mouse and killed it. Venus, angry at this behavior, and seeing that under the form of a woman there was still hidden the nature of a cat, determined that form and nature should no longer disagree, and changed her back into a cat again. The moral is, the true nature, though hidden, will assert itself. The Thief and the Dog. A thief who came near a house one night to rob it was prevented by a dog who began to bark loudly. The thief tried to coax him into silence by offering him a tempting piece of meat. "No," said the dog, "I will not sell my master and myself for a bite of meat. For after you have finished with him, who will take care of me?" Honesty is the best policy. The Crab and the Fox. A crab, forsaking the seashore, chose a neighboring green meadow and its feeding ground. A fox came across him, and being very much famished, ate him up. Just as he was on the point of being eaten, the crab said, "I well deserve my fate, for what business had I on the land, when my nature and habits I am only adapted for the sea?" Contentment with our lot is an element of happiness. Socrates and his friends. Socrates once built a house, and everybody who saw it had something or other to say against it. "What a front," said one. "What an inside," said another. "What a room, not big enough to turn around in," said a third. "Small as it is," answered Socrates, "I wish I had true friends enough to fill it." Houses are easier to get than friends. The Tortoise and the Hare. The hare one day laughed at the tortoise for his short feet, slowness, and awkwardness. "Though you may be swift as the wind," replied the tortoise good-naturedly, "I can beat you in a race." The hare looked on the challenge as a great joke, but consisted to a trial of speed, and the fox was selected to act as umpire and hold the stakes. The rivals started, and the hare, of course, soon left the tortoise far behind. Having reached midway to the goal, he began to play about, nibble the young herbage, and amuse herself in many ways. The day being warm, she even thought she would take a little nap in a shady spot, for she thought if the tortoise should pass her while she slept, she could easily overtake him again before he reached the end. The tortoise, meanwhile, plodded on, unwavering and unresting, straight towards the goal. The hare, having overslept herself, started up from her nap, and was surprised to find that the tortoise was nowhere in sight. Off she went at full speed, but on reaching the winning post, found that the tortoise was already there, waiting for her arrival. Slow and steady wins the race. The Cat and the Mice. In former times, a fierce and lasting war raged between cats and mice, in which time after time the latter had to fly. One day, when the mice in council were discussing the cause of their ill luck, the general opinion seemed to be that it was difficulty of knowing, in the heat of the conflict, who were their leaders that led their defeat and utter rout. So it was decided that, in the future, each captain should have his head decorated with some thin straws, so that all the mice would then know to whom they were to look for orders. After the mice had drilled and disciplined their numbers, they once more gave battle to cats, but again they met with no better success, being utterly routed. The greater part reached their holes in safety, but the captains were prevented by their strange headgear from entering their retreats, and fell prey to their cruel pursuers. Those who have the greatest honor have the gravest danger. The Peacock and the Crane. The peacock spreading his gorgeous tail, stalked up and down in the most stately manner before a crane, and ridiculed him for the plainness of his plumage. "I am robed like a king," said he, "in gold and purple and all the colors of the rainbow, while just look at your plain coat." "Tut, tut," said the crane. "Which is better now, to strut about in the dirt and be gazed at by children, or to soar above the clouds as I do? Do not mistake beautiful looks for noble character." A crow, having stolen a piece of cheese from a cottage window, flew with it to a tree that was some way off. A fox, drawn by the smell of the cheese, came and sat at the foot of the tree, and tried to find some way of making it his. "Good morning, dear Miss Crow," said he. "How well are you looking today? And what handsome feathers yours are, to be sure. Perhaps, too, your voice is as sweet as your feathers are fine. If so, you are really the queen of birds." The crow, quite beside herself to hear such praise, at once opened a wide beak to let the fox judge of her voice, and so let fall the cheese. The fox snapped it up and exclaimed, "Ah ha ha! My good soul learned that all who flatter have their own ends in view. That lesson will repay you for a bit of cheese. Beware the flatterer." The Lion and the Mouse. A lion, tired with the chase, lay sleeping at full length under a shady tree. Some mice, scrambling over him while he slept, awoke him. Laying his paw upon one of them, he was about to crush him when the mouse implored his mercy. "Spare me, O king," said he, "and maybe the day will come when I can be of service to you." The lion, tickled with the idea of the mouse helping him, lifted his paw and let the little creature go. Some time after, the lion was caught in a net laid by some hunters and unable to free himself, when the forest resounded with roars. The mouse, whose life had been spared, came, and with little sharp teeth soon gnawed the ropes asunder and let the lion free. The least may help the greatest. So I think that's all I have for you today. I read several of these Aesop's Fables, and I hope you really enjoyed them. I might do some more sometime, so please let me know if you would like to hear some more, if you enjoyed this video, and please rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.